Hey guys, this is Jay Calder for JAYONBOXING, and we're going to talk about Deontay Wilder here. Now, before we get started, of course, and into it, please like, subscribe, and share. It definitely helps out the channel, and I definitely do appreciate the support. Now, in case you missed it on Saturday in Riyadh, where all the fights happen apparently, former heavyweight titleist Deontay Wilder was pressured by Chinese big man ZHILEI and dropped hard and ultimately stopped in the 5th round. And truth be told, Wilder didn't really get out of the blocks here. He landed a few decent shots on the sizable melon of Zhang, but never really stepped into his work. He didn't show the killer instinct a puncher's power needs to produce. And while Wilder has never been the most skilled fighter in the world, that power that he possesses has been able to bail him out, has shown him to be able to do things his skills alone might not be able to allow him to accomplish. But when you don't believe in that power any longer, as he doesn't seem to believe in it, you're left in a precarious position where your career just might not be carrying on with any kind of success, certainly. So, with that in mind and a hint at retirement from Wilder pre-fight when he said if he lost, he probably would step away from the sport, we kind of get into my main point here, which is how do we remember Deontay Wilder? Now, just looking at his numbers, he's had a very solid career. You know, he has a record of 43-4-1, 10 title defenses, almost a 98% KO ratio. He's 10-2-1 in title fights, stopping 9 of those foes. He's also a bronze medalist in the 2008 Olympics, even with starting boxing at a late age. Made heaps of cash. No matter how you slice it, that's a very solid career. All for a guy that literally started fighting for his disabled daughter and to be able to provide all that she could need and more. You have to commend him for it, and certainly a very solid career from that perspective. However, when you look past the admirable story and look deeper into the fights that made up those numbers, his career begins to look a lot less stellar. The truth of the matter is Wilder has always been an ordinary fighter with extraordinary power. Power that often bails him out, as mentioned, where his skills might have potentially failed him. Was he really a better overall boxer than Eric Molina, just from a technical standpoint? Or Luis Ortiz, for example, Bermane Stiverne when he actually trained? Skill-wise, maybe, maybe not. It wasn't so clear. But when you have that one-hitter quitter, you can get away with lapses in skills. Now, mind you, power is important, and it's not as though his power didn't afford him some of those big moments, incredible knockouts, and a very solid career as mentioned. But power, like all other skills or attributes, can wilt or can become less important in your career. Don't believe it when people say power never leaves you or power is the last thing to fade. That's not entirely true. Power needs confidence when thrown and needs to be thrown regularly to work. He hasn't done that most recently, and you clearly see the bad impact that has on his career. Not having the skills to get that power in those right moments, thrown at the right pace, with confidence, stepping into it, it makes it far less effective, and that power in itself will begin to fade as well. And power can also make you not focus on all the other skills that you need to work that power. When you know you have that eraser, why focus on better defense to then be able to catch and shoot or be able to pull counter, or a better jab to set up your work, or better footwork to get in better positions? Why? You have no reason to when you've been able to bail yourself out. You know, again, these things, like I said, help you. But when you're so used to land the right hand, end the fight, it's hard to sometimes see the forest from the trees. So how is he going to be remembered? In my opinion, as a fighter that in some respects got more out of his relatively limited talent than many more talented fighters did for themselves. But also as someone that came along in a weaker era, that did most of his feasting on subpar fighters, and that failed to really win the biggest fights of his career. Anyone that was at best a really solid heavyweight, he likely stopped. Anyone that had some skills, a pulse, and wasn't deathly afraid of his power, outside of maybe Luis Ortiz, likely got the win over the American. And I know a lot of his supporters are avid supporters and are going to say that he could have done more in his prime if guys like Anthony Joshua would have fought him, or if they wouldn't have counted as long as they did for Tyson Fury. But please, let's be realistic here. Fighters can't be ultimately judged on what might have happened or what should have happened. Fighters are judged on what did happen. And when Wilder faced the likes of Tyson Fury or Joseph Parker and now Zhang, the 3 best fighters he's faced, he lost. And most of the time in a rather convincing fashion. So how do you grade his career? I can tell you what you can't say. You can't say top 10 heavyweight of all time, which is a claim I legit hear in some corners of the boxing internet. Yeah, that's just not possible. You can't just say, well, he's a modern heavyweight with modern, abilities and athleticism, he would beat those smaller guys from the past, or he's done better than they did. Again, what did he actually do to prove that is the point. When you look at his era, which isn't the weakest of all time, but certainly isn't the strongest, certain names will come up as the best at heavyweight. Fury, Anthony Joshua, Alexander Usyk, of course, even guys like Joseph Parker, maybe Andy Ruiz. You look at that list, and when comparing what they achieved in the ring, Wilder is likely fourth, maybe fifth. You can't rate him over Fury, or even Usyk, the guy that beat him and became undisputed. Joshua has the better resume and about as many title defenses and top 10 wins in less overall fights. He's likely battling it out with Parker for that fourth spot. So ask yourself, how in the hell is he top 10 all time when he's barely top 5 of his own average era? Ultimately, to me, you rate Wilder as a solid fighter that did more than most with less skills overall. While his power is arguably all-time, that's about as close as he gets to those kind of claims. Again, things could have been different if he had found a way to fight Andy Ruiz or Joshua early in his career. Who knows? But as it ultimately stands, he's a limited fighter that exceeded expectations, but was probably overrated due to an era that wasn't always impressive, that didn't always make the biggest fights. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Of course, how would you rate Wilder? Is he all time? Am I dead wrong? Kind of what do you think of his overall career? Please let me know down in the comments section below. And of course, you can like and subscribe, all that good stuff, and check out all the social media here. And be sure to check out JAYONBOXING.com for predictions, schedule, results, rankings, and more. And as always, until next time.